You ever wonder if SpongeBob was actually kidnapped by the bus driver that took him to rock bottom? I know that sounds crazy, but hear me out. I was rewatching this episode and thinking about how everything went down, and I think this was all done on purpose. Okay, so SpongeBob and Patrick just finished the day at Glove World. They hop on a bus to head home and SpongeBob realizes he needs to pay the fare, which is 50 cents. He starts fumbling around looking for his wallet, and every time he turns around, his glove balloon would just keep smacking the bus driver in the face. By the way, this bus driver looks very familiar, but we'll talk more on that later on. So anyways, remember this part when SpongeBob hits him with the balloon? We can clearly see the bus driver is just getting increasingly annoyed with each hit, and ended up just telling SpongeBob to have a seat. On the drive back home, they're talking about the things they got from Glove World when they realized that they were actually leaving Bikini Bottom. They end up in this eerie and creepy place called Rock Bottom, and the bus driver, this dude just ends up kicking them out straight up.
But sir, we need to get back to Bikini Bottom.
Oh well.
Now Rock Bottom, this place is dark and spooky. It honestly made this episode unforgettable and a favorite of mine. Like even the bit where they try and figure out which bathroom to use sends terror down a child's spine. Old SpongeBob just hit different.
Just wait for someone to come out and then you'll know.
So SpongeBob tells Patrick to stay put while he figures out the bus schedule. But then, as luck would have it, a bus comes by, and Patrick accidentally leaves SpongeBob behind. Now, I'm throwing around the word accidentally very loosely here, because there's no way Patrick can accidentally hop on a bus and accidentally pay for it to go home, right? So SpongeBob tries chasing after the bus, but he had no luck, so he decides to wait at the bus stop, annoyed but determined to catch the next bus. While he's waiting, he notices his shoe is untied. He starts tying his shoes with the loop-de-loop and pull method. But just as he's finishing up, a bus arrives and leaves him before he can even react. Then, after some time has passed by, SpongeBob's glove balloon gets loose. He jumps, but another bus arrives and then departs literally while he's mid-jump. And he doesn't even notice until it's too late. Then this creep comes chasing after his balloon, and SpongeBob isn't able to catch up to him. But just as he's walking back to the bus stop, which you can say is like less than 10 feet away from him, another bus comes and leaves him almost immediately. Then we see he spots a candy machine across the road, and his stomach growling. He decides to quickly grab a snack, but then this happens.
Hey!
And he tries again, sprinting over to the machine, checking for buses the entire time. He puts in the coin, and immediately another bus comes and goes. He finally gets his candy to drop down slowly, but as soon as he puts his hand inside the machine to get it, another bus comes and leaves, and then this next one is just trolling him at this point. I know everyone already knows and agrees, but the older SpongeBob era is the best era there is. So anyway, some crazy alien-looking fish comes and takes SpongeBob's candy bar, and as SpongeBob leaves his post to chase after him, 3 different buses come simultaneously. So being the bright sponge that he is, he sets up a decoy SpongeBob across the street to trick the bus driver. But we see as soon as the fake SpongeBob falls, the bus driver hits the gas, leaving SpongeBob alone yet again. He even disguises himself as a bench and actually insults the bus driver, calling him fish paste.
Fish paste!
After the bench idea didn't work, SpongeBob waits in this crazy-looking line at the bus station, only to miss the last bus by mere seconds. When the ticket teller informs SpongeBob that there won't be any more buses until the morning, he literally shuts off all the lights immediately. Coincidentally, SpongeBob's flashlight dies too. It's advanced darkness now, and SpongeBob is alone, totally freaking out. Suddenly he hears this weird raspy noise and gets terrified, understandably. He makes a run for it and ends up meeting with this weirdo from earlier. Turns out, he found his lost glove balloon. And at first, SpongeBob is a little sarcastic about the balloon, but then he realizes that the dude is actually trying to help him. The fish ties the balloon to SpongeBob's wrist, and next thing you know, SpongeBob is floating up and out of Rock Bottom and makes it back home. Okay, so hear me out. I've thought about this a while now. This theory makes so much sense and explains the whole entire episode. SpongeBob beats up the bus driver relentlessly. Bus driver hits the gas, takes and drops SpongeBob and Patrick to Rock Bottom. He takes them both to Rock Bottom. The bus driver waits for the right time to come back and pick up Patrick, bribes him to get onto the bus to take him back to Bikini Bottom, and then calls every bus driver in the area to blacklist a certain yellow sponge. We've seen this done in the past when a business or organization blacklists certain customers from their services. So when we look at the situation that SpongeBob was put in, the main point is that there is no doubt that this bus driver did the same thing to him here. Now, we have to mention Patrick. When we see the shot of Patrick leaving, we can hear him screaming out to SpongeBob, right? I even remember thinking, why doesn't Patrick just jump out the window? Which makes me think the bus driver forced Patrick to get on the bus on purpose, just to leave SpongeBob behind. Because evidence 1, Patrick was literally able to get picked up, meaning the bus driver had no problem with picking him up. And 2, something I didn't mention earlier, if we go to the end of the episode, we see Patrick on a bus yelling out this.
Don't worry, SpongeBob, I'm coming back for you!
So obviously I don't think Patrick would have left SpongeBob there in the first place, at least not on purpose. I know Patrick is a little slow sometimes, but he just wouldn't do that. We've been able to clearly see how important SpongeBob is to Patrick in episodes like Home Sweet Pineapple, where a bunch of nematodes came to Bikini Bottom. The nematodes eat everything they find, and eventually they make their way to SpongeBob's house. They pull out straws and start drinking from the pineapple house, which causes it to shrink smaller and smaller and eventually just disappears entirely. SpongeBob and Gary wake up to find their house shrinking around them. SpongeBob calls Squidward for help, but Squidward is just, well, Squidward. He doesn't plan to be very helpful and just enjoys the idea of SpongeBob moving away. But of course, Patrick comes over, and when he sees what happened, he's devastated for his friend. SpongeBob is devastated because his house is completely gone, and he thinks he'll have to move back in with his parents. But here's the part that really shows how awesome Patrick is as a friend. Patrick offers to let SpongeBob stay with him indefinitely. This gesture just shows Patrick's unwillingness to leave his best friend without support and a home no matter what. And even more funny episodes like camping episodes and the one with the shell, these episodes really highlight how close of a relationship Patrick and SpongeBob really have. They're connected and impartial without the other. To say all this, Patrick wouldn't just get on a bus and leave SpongeBob out there on purpose alone in the dark. And the last thing I want to mention about the bus driver, when I was watching this episode back, I noticed that this is actually Matt, the same fish that Karen was paying under the table to eat at the chum bucket just to make Plankton happy in the Plankton's regular episode.
Not ever again. The deal's off, computer. I can't eat another bite of that slop.
Like, when did he become a bus driver, though? I feel like this theory, and many more, are hiding in plain sight in this episode, let alone the whole show. So let me know what you think in the comments, and also let me know in general, did SpongeBob purposely get kidnapped by Matt? Just for a few balloon smacks? Anyways, enjoy guys, and I'll catch you next time.